Okay, in response to what my opponent said, um, education in the United States should not be optional. It should be required, and the government should have involvement in the education process. According to some information by the U.S. the U.S. Department of Education, it's actually not the federal government that regulates the school system. It is actually the state and community that regulate the schools, the curriculum, and their structure. Um, the government does provide $1.5 trillion a year to education, and 87.7% of that goes to elementary education. Um, Even with these funds, the majority of the funds for schools um, do come from state, local, private, and non-federal sources, mainly mainly school fundraisers, um, local sponsors wanting to sponsor this school, and donations of money, supplies, and services done by the parents. Um, so government regulation really doesn't have um, as much effect on the schooling as she was claiming that it has. It's a lot more based on the statewide regulations as well. Um, the government does have an expectation for education that they have not strayed away from. Their official mission was to promote student achievement and preparation for global education competitiveness. So I mean, she was saying that that was a bad thing, that we all, she said that having a formal education conforms people. But really, I mean, the government is just trying to get everybody ready to go out into the world and compete at a higher competitive level. If they're, if a student wants to have a corporate job, they go out against these students from other countries. They need to be well equipped to compete with them. Uh, she did not present a bill, so I do have an option that would work, that would both gratify um, what she wants and also stay, in line with government education. According to that would be homeschooling. Um, According to statisticbrain.com, in 2007, about 1.5 million kids were homeschooled, and 25.6% of homeschooled kids are homeschooled due to the satisfaction of public school systems. So this kind of goes along with what she was saying, is that the government has too much involvement in the school systems. Therefore, we need to differentiate the education system. But once again, the federal government does not come up with a school curriculum. The school itself does, and the local government, the state government do. So so even then, homeschooling does give some kind of educational structure, but it does not fully prevent the problem. Um, One thing that someone might argue is that homeschooling causes social setbacks in the children, but it really doesn't. According to the same site, statisticsbrain.com, on average, homeschool kids are involved in about 5 to 6 outside of home activities, such as belonging to a club or some kind of organization or even a sport. But I mean, these kids do need structure. They need something, to teach them. If they grow up into a world that just kind of let them go in a free for all, they're not going to learn anything. They're not going to advance at all. And she's also saying that it's wrong to have everybody have the same education. But isn't that what college is for? I believe that the early educational state, it being K through 12, those are very important and prime years for education. I think that those need to be on a set basis. They need to have a lot of strict guidelines, because this is when these kids are growing. They're learning who they're going to become, and they're learning how to learn. So they do need strict guidelines. They do need better instruction for these. And then if they, once they're old enough to decide what they want to do with their life and where they want to go with it, that's what college is for. College is more, it's more personal based. It's more off of what they want to do and not what people are telling them to do. So yeah.